dear students, myself Gangadhar Solanke and I welcome you all to the MC James virtual classroom. My dear students, today in Standard 9's History we'll be learning the topic Changing Life 1. We have already started this topic, and in the first part of this topic we people learnt about the importance of constitution or how constitution changed our life, then about the institution of the family, social welfare, scheduled castes and tribes, public health, kidney transplant, test tube baby and immunization. All these things changed our life totally as a citizen of India, or gives us comfort in many things or made our life easy. And now in today's second part of this topic we are going to learn about urbanization, rural area, post independence period, changing economic life, rural development, social needs and facilities, rural electrification, and the last point of this topic, industrial development. Now on the screen you can see the first point with which we are going to start today, that is urbanization. So urbanization is nothing but the thing where we people are living today. For example, in Mumbai we are there, so there is no any other better option to understand the concept of the urbanization. All the things or the facilities related with the urbanization are in the city where we people are living, so it is very easy for us to understand the concept of urbanization. So what is urbanization? Urbanization is a process of the concentration of population in a city or urban area. And as I told you, मुंबई जैसा दूसरा और अच्छा एग्जाम्पल नहीं हो सकता अर्बनाइजेशन समझने के लिए. नाउ concentrate on this concentration of population in a city. Continuously every day the population of our city is increasing and increasing and increasing. People are concentrating in this city. Now reasons may be different, अलग अलग reason हो सकते हैं, but the population is increasing. So urbanization is a process of the concentration of population in a city or urban area. Increasing population is one major reason for urbanization. A few other factors affecting urbanization are air, water and the economic as well as social organization necessary for community life. So all these things are important, but the increase in the population or concentration of population in any particular area is also important or play a very important role in the urbanization of any particular place or of any particular area. Now if you people discuss about the causes of urbanization, on the screen you can see rural to urban migration is happening on a massive scale due to population pressure and lack of resources in rural areas. Two things are there, population pressure and lack of resources. Population तो बढ़ता जा रहा है और available resources जो है उन पे भी प्रेशर आ रहा है, जैसे पानी है, ज़मीन है, ये सारी चीज़ों पे limitations आ रही है because of the increasing population. So in search of job people are migrating from rural to urban area. It means that people are concentrating in the cities. So people living in rural areas are pulled to the city. Often they believe that the standard of living in urban areas will be much better in urban areas because of the things or the facilities which people are getting there, like health facilities or education. Natural increase caused by a decrease in death rates while birth rates remain high. So if we talk about the post independence India, then the increase in urban population is also due to the factors such as reduction in mortality rate, industrialization, unavailability of means of livelihood in rural areas, job opportunities in cities and the resulting migration. So to reduce the strain of cities, it is necessary to make jobs available in villages achieve a balance in economic development, control the expansion of metros, and provide necessary services and facilities in both the urban as well as rural areas, because now the pressure or the stress is in the cities because of the increasing population, or the it is on the sources or the resources which are available in cities. So the reasons: reduction in the mortality rate, industrialization, unavailability of means of livelihood in rural areas, and job opportunities. But now it is the time to think about the continuous माइग्रेशन फ्रॉम रूरल एरियाज़ टू अर्बन एरियाज़, क्योंकि अब अर्बन एरियाज़ में क्या हो गया है कि पॉपुलेशन बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ने की वजह से वहाँ पे भी जो रिसोर्सेस है उन पे भी स्ट्रेस आ रहा है, एंड द थिंग्स are getting worst day by day because many cities in the world facing the problem of water, पानी ही नहीं है. So it is very important to balance the situation and to shift the offices from urban to rural areas, or to control the expansion of metros and provide necessary services and facilities in both the urban as well as rural areas, so that people will not migrate from the rural to urban areas. Next point, rural area. We are just now here trying to understand the concept of urbanization and of rural area. A village is a permanent settlement of farmers. Basically, there in the village, farmers are there. Lifestyle is totally based on the farms, agriculture based society. So a village is a permanent settlement of farmers near the land they themselves tilled, either individually or collectively. So villages came into existence when farming began. You people already studied about this in the 5th standard CVS, how we came to be, or when you people studied about the ancient period history. A dense cluster of houses surrounded by farmland is a unique feature of the Indian village. घर है और घर के आजू बाजू में खेती है. A settlement smaller than even a village is called hamlet. Compared to the urban community, the village community is very small. Villages are not uniform across India. There are differences based on regional and physical features. Again, it is depend on the climatic conditions and the land or the type of land. Next point, post-independence period. Keeping in mind the goal of rural development, the collective development scheme has come into force. Plans were made for improving farming technology, increasing the area of irrigated land. If we consider it with the, or if we compare it with the pre-independence period and post-independence period, then there is huge change in the field of agriculture also. New technology, then the increase in the area of irrigated land, extending educational facilities, enacting the laws for land reform under this scheme. It also aimed at increasing agricultural produce, or we can say that it is the need of the hour, क्योंकि population इतना ज़्यादा बढ़ रहा है कि agriculture produce को बढ़ना ही होगा, बढ़ाना ही होगा. So it also aimed to increasing agricultural produce as well as expanding the means of transport, health services and scope for education in the rural areas. It was decided to give priority to economic development in villages. The same thing about which we talked. एक बैलेंस बनाना बहुत ज़रूरी है, अदरवाइज माइग्रेशन बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ गया तो फिर नए प्रॉब्लम्स उससे स्टार्ट होते हैं. सो it was decided to give priority to economic development in villages. The government undertook this work through the medium of gram panchayats, which include the people from all castes and tribes. To achieve this, the gram panchayats, panchayat samitis and jilla parishad were empowered with more authority. You people already learnt about this in the civics, about Jilla Parishad, about Panchayat Samiti, about Gram Panchayat, how it works, what is the structure of Jilla Parishad, Panchayat Samiti and Gram Panchayat, how these institutions get their money or the source of income. About all these things you people already learned, so we are not going to talk in detail about this, but one thing which you have to keep in mind here is that the Jilla Parishad, Panchayat Samiti and Gram Panchayat worked for the betterment of the village or to give facilities to the rural areas of the country, and three-tier system, this is called as Panchayati Raj in rural areas, and this changed the rural system of India totally. Next thing now, changing economic life. Earlier, every village was economically self-sufficient because बलूतेदार सिस्टम was there, barter system was there. तो लोगों को एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जाना नहीं पड़ता था, जो चाहिए अपने पास जो है वो दे के हमें जो चाहिए वो ले सकते थे. तो ये एक सिस्टम बनी हुई थी. A majority of the villagers were dependent on farming. Farm produce used to be distributed among artisans as payment for their work. तो जिन लोगों के पास खेती नहीं थी या फिर कुछ स्पेशल स्किल थे जैसे अलग अलग आर्टिसंस, उनको जो खेती करने वाले लोग हैं उनसे फार्म प्रोड्यूस मिल जाता था और उनके बदले में उनके पास जो है वो देते थे. इस तरह से एक सिस्टम बना हुआ था. बट नाउ दिस सिचुएशन हैज़ चेंज्ड. Rural areas are engaged in agriculture and occupations ancillary to farming, while urban society is engaged in non-agricultural production and the service sector. So it is divided. गांव में रूरल एरियाज में खेती होगी, खेती से रिलेटेड जो भी चीज़ें कर सकते हैं फार्मर्स वो कर रहे हैं, और शहरों में सर्विस सेक्टर और बाकी इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन जैसी थिंग्स हो रही है. रूरल डेवलपमेंट. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट. इन 1961 82% of India's population resided in villages. In 1971 the percentage was 80.01%. So the number of migration you can see in the 10 years. So far, the rural area has shouldered the responsibility of providing food grains and other raw material to urban areas. You people already learned about the industries in India, and in industries raw material is very important, or the production is directly or indirectly dependent on the raw material. So it is the thing which is again related with the agriculture to provide the food grains and other raw material to urban areas, supplying labor to the industrial sectors of the city and taking care of natural resources. Again, this one is very important, which includes water, then the sunlight or the air or minerals, soil, many things we can add in this. This is also the thing which is related with the people who are living in rural area. So there are three major challenges with reference to rural development, namely bringing about economic development, developing facilities to meet social needs, and finally bringing about a change of attitude in matters concerning society, culture and ways of thinking. And it is equally necessary to expedite irrigation projects and bring about land reforms, because the agriculture in our country is totally depend on the water, or everywhere in the world where there is agriculture in practice, then the water is very important source on which agriculture is dependent. So to bring land under irrigation is very important. Then the next point, social needs and facilities. It is necessary to give priority to facilities for public hygiene and healthcare. Now again same thing I am going to repeat here. Nowadays we people are very much aware about the public hygiene and about healthcare, because not only India or not only any particular state but the whole world is facing the problem of COVID-19, and in such days it is very important to think about our health services, and for the next generations or for the next period our government and personally we all should work for this. So it is necessary to give priority to facilities for public hygiene and healthcare. Even today the rural population faces problems. The rural population faces problems related to year round provision of drinking water, toilets, open drainage, narrow roads, inadequate electrification and lack of facilities for medical treatment. Now if we people compare rural area with the urban area, then easily we can see the difference or the facilities where people enjoying in the urban area and the things with which urban people having a problem or struggling with the things like drinking water facilities are not there, then the issue of toilets, open drainage system is there, so because of that danger of sickness is there, then narrow roads and inadequate electrification जिस पर तो पूरी तरह से खेती डिपेंड है और लोगों बच्चे जो है उनको पढ़ाई करने के लिए इलेक्ट्रिसिटी भी नहीं होती है. सो देयर इज़ अ लैक ऑफ गुड क्वालिटी एजुकेशनल फैसिलिटीज़ from primary level to higher education, centers for recreation and libraries, and that is why it is necessary to give special attention to rural areas. क्योंकि किसी भी देश को अगर प्रगति करनी है, आगे जाना है, डेवलप बनना है, तो कोई एक हिस्सा डेवलप होने से देश डेवलप नहीं होता है. इफ़ गवर्नमेंट विल थिंक अबाउट ओनली अर्बन एरियाज और रूरल एरिया पीछे छूट जाएगा तो ये बैलेंस डेवलपमेंट नहीं होगा. On the screen you can see problems of rural economy, agricultural related problems, infrastructure related problems, economic problems, social and cultural problems, leadership related problems, that is what change in attitude, administrative problems, people related problems. Now in this list we can add the things under the each heading. For example, leadership related problems, you can write many things under this. The collective development scheme had an important place in all the first 4-5 year plans of the government of India. The state of Maharashtra registered remarkable achievements under the scheme. For example, Jilla Parishads were established in 1962 and Jilla Parishads worked really very well in developing the rural areas of our state. Nutritious diet scheme was launched in 1970-71. The state also started rural water supply for sinking wells and providing piped water. By 1971 to 1677, here you can see 1677 small dams had also been built by 1971. तो इससे हम अंदाज़ा लगा सकते हैं कि किस रफ्तार से या किस तेज़ी से चेंजेस हुए हैं in rural areas also. On the screen you can see the images. Then the next point, rural electrification. Electricity is essential for the development of rural areas. Now why it is essential or important? Because automatic pumps are needed to water the fields and the whole economy of the rural area is dependent on the agriculture. Electricity is needed to preserve perishable food items such as milk, eggs, fruits and vegetables, to run fertilizer projects and for fans and TV and for lights for studying at night. So during the first 5-year plan, electricity had been provided to 3000 villages in India. During the first 5-year plan, electricity had been provided to 3,000 villages in India. Then by 1973, you can see the number on the screen, it reached 1,38,646 villages. Then in 1966, more electricity for pumps and bore wells. Rural Electrification Corporation was established in 1969. Rural electrification cooperative societies came into being in the state of Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Karnataka, Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh. So these measures changed the rural areas totally, or the life of the rural people totally. On the screen now you can see the rural and urban societies during pre-globalization period. If we talk about the rural community, priority to farming and ancillary occasions, jobs. Then in urban areas, priority to non-agricultural production and services. Here you can easily understand the difference between the rural community and urban community. Then second one, rural community, small in size, homogeneous in terms of language, same language speaking people were there in any particular village, at least we can say that. Then the culture and tradition, same thing about the culture and tradition, where in urban community large in size, बड़े-बड़े है शहर, and that is why heterogeneous in terms of languages. If we people talk about Mumbai, या फिर आप जिस क्लास में पढ़ रहे, आपके क्लास का भी अगर हम एग्जांपल लेंगे तो people or the students speaking with different languages are there. लेकिन अगर किसी गांव में जाएंगे तो एक ही लैंग्वेज बोलने वाले सभी लोग एक क्लास में होंगे. बट हियर इन द cities or urban community, heterogeneous in terms of languages, cultures and traditions, because people are from the different parts of the country or from the different regions of the state, and that's why having different culture, having different traditions and speaking different languages. Third one, rural community, elementary kinds of occasions, trend of sending villagers to cities rather than accommodating outsiders in rural occupations. This is very important thing here to understand. गांव से लोग शहर में जा रहे हैं, शहर से लोग गांव में खेती करने के लिए नहीं आ रहे. Whereas in urban community, large industries, production for global consumption, accommodating outsiders. बाहर से लोग जितने भी आ रहे हैं उनको आने दिया जा रहा है और वो भी आराम से उनके साथ रह रहे हैं. Rural community, larger proportion of occasions running in the family, less proportion of occasions running in the family in urban community. And the last one, in rural community, priority to the head of the family and to the family as an institution. So joint family system is there in the rural community, whereas in urban community, family is secondary, priority to individuals and trend towards now nuclear families. To understand this, you can write or talk about your family, and then you can understand the nature of your family. Is it joint family or nuclear family? So this is what the basic difference in between the things of rural community and urban community. Next and the last point of the lesson, industrial development. A village industries planning committee was formed to help the development of industry in rural areas. By 1972, 1,06,000 persons got employment under this scheme. Just think about the number. तो इतने लोगों को अगर एम्प्लॉयमेंट मिला है, जॉब मिला है, तो उतनी फैमिलीज का स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग बढ़ गया. The government of Maharashtra has also started residential high schools known as Vidya Niketan in Satara, Aurangabad, Nasik and Chikaldara. The purpose is to provide the best quality education to intelligent and meritorious village students living in unfavorable conditions. It was not easy for the village students, or it is not easy for the village students today also, to move from one place to another place for education, or to settle somewhere for the education. And in such conditions, in such situations, such kind of things help a lot for the village students to get their education. So Vidyaniketan, then not only this, as per the recommendations of the Kothari Commission, agricultural universities were also started at Rahuri, Akola, Parbhani and Dapoli in Maharashtra. In recognition of the work done in the field of education, UNESCO awarded its international prize for the spread of literacy to Maharashtra in 1972. Now by this we can understand how dedicatedly the government of Maharashtra worked in this field, or in spreading the education, and the result of this we can see today also. So this was all about this topic in the topic changing life 1. Today in the second part we people learnt about urbanization, rural area, post independence period, changing economic life, rural development, social needs and facilities, rural electrification and industrial development. In the first part we people learnt about the constitution, the institution of the family, social welfare, scheduled castes and tribes, public health, kidney transplant, test tube baby and immunization. Now in this way, overcoming the obstacles at the beginning of post independence period. Now again this is very important to understand. अगर हम पोस्ट इंडिपेंडेंस की बात करेंगे तो डेवलपमेंट होने के लिए जो ऑब्स्टैकल्स थे, इंडिया बिगेन टू डेवलप एंड मेक प्रोग्रेस. And in the next chapter, which is also changing life 2, we shall learn more about the developments in the field of sports, in the field of theater and films, in the field of newspapers and in the field of television. And finally we'll see how all these things changed our life. Please subscribe the channel and press bell icon to get notifications. So my dear students, this is all for today. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe, take care.